Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Movie Critic Rob here with the Movie Channel, and today we are going to be talking about the latest installment in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise known as Dead Men Tell No Tales. If you're a fan of Pirates of the Caribbean, as I am, you'll know the title from the ride where all this originated. First in Disneyland, and then hopped over to Disney World, where I got to enjoy it for the first time. And if you know anything about me, you know that I am a big fan of the Pirates franchise. I actually got started in movie making and reviewing and all that nonsense because I watched Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl, specifically the bonus features attached to it, and I fell in love with movie making. I love Dead Man's Chest, I love At World's End, and I admit that it stumbled a little bit when it came to the installment right before this on Stranger Tides. I didn't like Blackbeard that much, so I really wanted to have them redeem themselves, because the franchise, for me, although it made a lot of money, the last installment did, it kind of lacked, especially when you had such great villains like Davy Jones, Barbossa, and Lord Cutler Beckett to cut your teeth on. So, what did I think about this movie? Well, let's dive in. This installment was directed by two directors, Joachim Roning and Espen Sandberg, who previously directed Kon-Tiki, and the story centers around a child that we do not know. Well, child, he's kind of a young man, and he is wanting to find something, and in order to find that something, of course, Jack Sparrow has to be involved. In the middle of this discovery and this road trip on the seas is this Captain Salazar, who is also after Jack Sparrow, because just like every other captain on the high seas, he was wronged by Captain Jack Sparrow. I know, and you're probably thinking to me, well, you're kind of talking like it's same old, same old. And the pirate movies really are the same old, but the franchise lives or dies on these characters, and you don't need, like, the story, while simplistic, is there to give the characters room to blossom, and boy, do they blossom. Captain Salazar specifically blossoms as the antagonist of this movie, and Javier Bardem, just another villain role that you can, it's awesome. And one of the things that this movie, and I may go a little bit over 5 minutes for my non-spoiler section, because a lot of people were bad-mouthing this movie before it came out, and I think, having watched it myself, it's unfair. The movie does take a little bit to pick up, and I think that's probably the only negative I have of the movie. Well, two negatives, really. It takes a little bit to pick up, and on top of that, some of the, see how I can phrase this. It takes a little bit to pick up, and that's definitely valid. It really does. It kind of, in the beginning, although it's a fun beginning, we don't really get into the meat of the story until about 30 minutes in. But the only other negative that I have is that Javier Bardem's character, I wish would have been fleshed out more. I really, really do, because he was a fantastic villain on par with Davy Jones and Hector Barbossa. Speaking of which, Hector Barbossa is in this movie, and he's awesome. Everybody's awesome that is returning, and you get to see some familiar faces that you didn't see in the fourth movie, which I'm kind of glad they brought them back, because somebody like me, who's a diehard fan, and other people like you, will pick up on these cameos that were really entertaining. The entire movie is really entertaining. The story is fantastic. I felt like they borrowed a lot of the tropes from Davy Jones, but I don't see that as a negative, because I love Davy Jones and I wish he was back in the franchise. But I love Javier Bardem's character. I think I mean, Javier Bardem is awesome, and putting him into this Pirates world definitely works. Like I said, the negatives are just the beginning, where all the Pirates movies have not a hard time, but they take their time getting started, and this one's no different. But it's entertaining, and it reminded me a lot of Curse of the Black Pearl. A lot of people said that this movie was going to be a lot like Curse of the Black Pearl, and I agreed. It really is, and I really like that. It's kind of a mishmash of Dead Man's Chest and Curse of the Black Pearl, which is really, it becomes its own original thing. I love it. The new characters who come into the foray, who is the not witch astronomer, and the young man that I spoke about, who I will not give away his name because that is a spoiler, are really great additions and really make up for the Serena and Preacher kid in the fourth movie, who fell flat to me. Final thoughts. So this movie is definitely one you should go see. Don't listen to the people that are bad-mouthing this movie, because they probably haven't even seen this movie. They're sitting at home in their underwear, just bad-mouthing things like they do, because that's what people do nowadays. They can sit there and bad-mouth things. I really want you to form your own opinion. I loved it, but then again, I'm biased towards the whole franchise. Then again, not really, because I didn't like the fourth one, and I'm pretty vocal about it. I don't own it because I don't believe it exists. But I really, really love this movie, and I think you all should go see it. Now, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes before we dive into, well, not 5 minutes. What the heck? I'm not going to sit here for 5 minutes talking. We are going to go right into the spoilers of this movie, so I'm going to give you a little bit to exit right now if you don't want to hear it, because our spoiler talk is now beginning. Alrighty, so let's talk the nitty-gritty. This movie starts out, you get to see how Jack got a lot of the things that Jack got, you know, like his compass, his sword, and all these things. And I thought that was a great way to do that and to kind of show his backstory, because a lot of people have been wanting a prequel ever since At World's End, where we saw that he had double-crossed Beckett, and Beckett sunk his ship, and then he had to go in to get a deal with Davy Jones to lift the ship out of the water, and it became the Black Pearl, which it used to be the Wicked Wench, which I'm so glad that they actually didn't forget that the ship used to be called the Wicked Wench, and they put it on the back of the ship. The Will Turner is back, y'all. Will Turner is back, and he is our resident Davy Jones. And I really like what they did with his character, because Henry Turner, who is the kid that I mentioned in my non-spoiler section, the whole point of his story, and it's kind of the same as Will Turner's was in releasing Bootstrap Bill. This one, Henry Turner, son of Will Turner, wants to release Will Turner from his foray on the Flying Dutchman, and believes that this trident, the Trident of Poseidon, is going to get it for him. So he teams up with Karina Smith and goes after the trident. I really love what they did with Barbossa's character here. This has been a year for Disney to axe some fan-favorite characters, and they do it with fanfare. They did it with Yondu in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Spoilers for Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I'm really sorry if you haven't watched and you just heard that. I'm really, really sorry. But Barbossa does indeed get the axe here, and it's done in a magnificent way. Such a heartfelt moment that they did with this character, and they play with it a lot, and it's kind of, they tease you a little bit with it, and then they reveal that Barbossa is actually the long-lost father of Karina, and then 5 minutes later, they kill him. Whoa. Big moment in a Pirates movie. Great moment in a Pirates movie. And they killed off a fan-favorite character, which I'm glad that they did that, because there's only so many things you could do with the character of Barbossa. And the actor, Geoffrey Rush, is getting pretty old to swashbuckle. So this was a great way to say goodbye to him in a permanent way, but that felt earned, and it really did feel earned, because Barbossa is one of those great characters that, like Davy Jones, you really need to give him his moments, and they have throughout the 4 movies, throughout the 5 movies, even the 4th movie, which I don't like pretty much at all. It had some good moments, but on the whole, it was terrible. Gave great moments to Barbossa and gave great development to Barbossa, and I'm really glad that they continued the trend here, even though it did end with his demise. The Poseidon's Trident thing I thought was really cool. I really like what they did with the map of the stars, and getting him there. And at the end, this is a really, really big spoiler. We got to see Elizabeth Swann return. And I tell you what, they had the Pirates music swelling. Will Turner's on the beach with Henry, with Karina. Jack's off on his ship looking at all this nonsense. And there comes Keira Knightley. And I was like, why am I so excited to see these 2 characters again? But it's such a welcome, and it's such a nice, great, earned moment in the movie. It just, it did my heart good to see all of them together sharing the screen. Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom, and Keira Knightley sharing the screen again like old times, because it'd been a long time. It's been since 2007, which is when At World's End released. So we haven't seen them on screen together since 2007, which would make it now 10 years. Wow, I feel old. Why did I say that? Wow. But it's just like old times. It was, please bring them back permanently. Bring them back, because that was such a good moment. The Jack Sparrow is ridiculous. He's awesome. I wish I could have mentioned him more in the spoiler-free section, because he is Jack Sparrow. But I wanted to hurry it along because I went a little bit long on the background part of it. This is really like, it's funny. I was talking to my mom when I was on the way back here. I got to see it in IMAX, not IMAX 3D, IMAX, but I thought it was fantastic, which I thought was fantastic. And I think it was funny. I was like, they did with Jack Sparrow's character exactly what Johnny Depp is going through in his career, because he's going through a low point in his career. And when we meet Jack Sparrow in the movie, he is at his lowest point as far as notoriety is concerned, and through the movie he gains it back. And I'm really, really hoping that Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales is a return to form for Johnny Depp. This really was a great moment. It was really interesting to see him kind of lost in the character, like he didn't know what to do, and then only to regain his full form, where at the end of the movie, when he's looking into that horizon at the deck of his beloved Black Pearl, it all felt like old times, and it was great to see that. And I'm really glad that that we got to see what we got to see, and hopefully they'll bring him back for Pirates 6, which I'm pretty sure is coming. Go out and see this movie. It was fantastic. I really love everything they did. The ghost sharks were ridiculous. I really loved it. Although the Salazar character is, they borrowed a lot from Davy Jones, because he can't step on land. He had the ghost sharks, whereas Davy Jones had the Kraken, which I thought was far more menacing. But still, I mean, the ghost shark was really cool, and it was its own different thing, and it was unique. So I really can't compare the Kraken to the ghost sharks. So fantastic movie. Fantastic movie. Joachim Ronin and Espen Sandberg, you rocked it. Jerry Bruckheimer, why did we ever doubt you? Why do we ever doubt you? I mean, yeah, you had that one misfire, Lone Ranger, but it was really a good movie. It was just not on par with everything else you've done. So return to form for everybody, and I'm really, really glad to see this movie, and I want to see what you got in store next. So to close out this shindig here, like, comment, subscribe, and please share, and please subscribe. I'm at 30 followers. I want to get to that 100. I know it's like you're at 30 and you want to get to 100. Why not 50? I'm like, because I dream big, son, and I want to get to 100. So like, comment, subscribe, and share. This has been the Movie Critic Rob with the Movie Channel. And now, as always, drink up me hearties, yo-ho. I'm signing off.